gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest non-crazy news from all over the planet. We are here to drag you out of the muck and mire that is the dumpster fire of the last bit of 2021 ire. Wanted to rhyme something. Yeah, the aftershocks are still blowing from 2021, but that's why you're here with us. You're here with us to forget it. We are your table in your collapsing house. We are the thing you climb under and hope for the best. Maybe you won't be injured. Maybe you will. Who knows? But we're here to try our best to keep you safe. Maybe we're a door frame. I don't know. But we're going to whisper... But yeah, that's also a good place. Thank you, Ashley. We're also your tornado / earthquake / hurricane safety radio. I'm here to give you the news. The weather's looking good. There might be snow. Other than that, I don't know. But we're joined, as always, by Ashley, who is here.
I told people to post pictures of their pets because I was tired of
Ooh,
my Twitter looking like a shit show. And there's some really cute kittles.
good. There. You know
Bow,
what?
bow, bow.
There's been a theme on Reddit. You know how I am with repetition. If you repeat something too many times, it kind of makes me want to throw something.
He starts
I start.
twitching.
So I was on Reddit, and lately there's this been theme of shoulder animals, where people take whatever pet they have and they perch the pet on their shoulder and they take a picture, and it's just been this escalating like animal thing on the I think it's the Aw subreddit AWW. Aw, that's cute. I'm subscribed to it for whatever reason because it's a default subreddit. So I'm scrolling and I see, oh, look, a dude with a cat on his shoulder. Oh, look, a dude with a dog on his shoulder. Oh, look, a girl's like, are we doing mice? And there's a mouse on her shoulder. And then there's a possum. And there's a horse. And there's an elephant. I'm like, can we stop? And it's been 3 days. And they just keep coming. There's
It's
more
gonna be
animals. I'm like,
even.
I have seen the animals. I'm done looking at your animals. I could just hit the... Ace is right. So I was on Reddit is the problem.
I love Reddit.
Yeah. I used to not do Reddit, and then because Landon was all about Reddit, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't get into it, which is weird because there are other upvoting type news sites I would like, but I couldn't do Reddit because the stuff that was initially on your default page, I'm like, this is not good. Like, this is just stupid stuff I don't care about. Then I learned to groom it. I'm like, ooh, there's a mechanical keyboard subreddit. Imagine that. Oh, people's desktops? I want to look at people's desktops. Oh, battle stations is people's computers I can be jealous of. This is great. So then I got really into it. Now I'm like, I go to the Unix porn subreddit, and that is not ballless humans. Unix, UINX. It's an operating system, but it's Unix porn. I told Stephanie when I was going into junior college, I was looking through the catalog of what you could take, and one of the courses was Introduction to Unix. And I was like, Stephanie, I think I'm going to join Introduction to Unix. That sounds cool. She laughed so hard. I was like, what are you laughing at? She's like, why would you do that? I'm like, not Unix. Unix.
Unix. That's
not
what the Canadians call themselves.
Unix. No, it's Canucks. That's different. I don't think you want to go call it a Canadian. You bunch of Unix.
No, you have to say
Unux. N-U-C-K-S.
Knucklehead. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with all that, but it was fun. It was a fun trip.
It
How are
went
you?
From chair keyboard porn to no balls, and then back to college.
That sounds about right. Isn't that how everyone does it?
Welcome to the show. We told you we're not going to talk about the things, we talk about other things.
Yes. Yep, we're here to distract you from everything around you right now. Glad to do it too.
Speaking of distraction, I found out I have to have surgery next Friday, right? Which is just annoying. Like, I don't want to have surgery. I don't want to be put under and intubated. Like, it's just,
Did they put you under and intubate you?
So, I have a polyp in my uterus, and it's caused me to bleed for the last 3 months, which sucks.
You should probably see about that.
I finally went to the doctor. Jacob's like, he's like, you're nursing and you're hemorrhaging to death. Go to the effing doctor. I'm like, I don't want to. So I went.
I just
hate
imagine Jacob like dragging you like your limp body like a toddler. Like, I'm not going, Ma. You get
I
take you
hate like
myself.
I don't wanna. I just want my body to function and I don't want a freaking polyp. And if you look at a picture of a polyp on Google, it's like this little dangling uvula in your freaking uterus. Like polyp!
That's the sound they make. Turkeys
It's
actually have polyps in their mouth. That's why they make that like
like I just see it. I see the picture and I'm like, fuck you, polyp. Like, why are you here?
please tell them you would like to keep it. Just be like, will you put that in a jar for me? So I can
His
swear at
name
it.
is George. But they can cause infertility and cancer and obviously you like just keep bleeding and I like so I have to have what's called a DNC, which is dilation, which is not what they do to your eyeballs. They take a rod and shove it up your cervix and like forcibly open your which would be like them taking a rod and shoving it in dude's penis tip and be like, open wide. Oh yes,
See,
there we go.
everything was fine until you
Yes.
said that. Then I immediately had a complete convulsion.
It's your cervix doesn't want to be open unless it's spuging out a child, and even then it hurts like an and I'm like, so I have to be there before 6 in the morning, have them shove a rod up my hoo-ha, and then they stick this like spreader speculum thing. They shove a camera all the way up there, and then they shove this wire with a knife on the end of it and be like, here, and
Gosh.
yes, and I'm like, I told, and then the doctor's like a 60-year-old man. I'm like, that doesn't sound pleasant. He goes, well, it's either that or keep bleeding, and I'm like,
Maybe I'll shove this up your butt. How's that sound?
like, like, I appreciate your medical degree, but right now, suck my anus.
This is not the time. Oh, this is tragic. I'm really sorry. Are you going to live stream the polyp
What
removal?
we should do is when I get, because I have to be under. You should pick me up and just film me on the way home. So good news is like it doesn't affect breastfeeding, but like I'm gonna have to pump at some point, like while I'm high, which should be interesting. But
That'll be good.
I have to have an MFing COVID test before I go to. I'm like, I have not done anything for an MFing year because you MFers won't sit for 8 weeks. Like, and now I have to have a Q-tip shoved up my I'm gonna have something shoved up my brain and something shoved up my vagina within a 48-hour period. I'm like, I just I can we not? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Can you give me a
So I'm
pass since I've
extra
just been home?
annoyed.
Ah, I'm sorry. I dread both of those things for you. I don't have a cervix, so I can't fully appreciate it. But being probed by anything feels like a bad thing.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
yeah.
better than bleeding to death, though. We could be
Yes.
cavemen, and you could just be like, "Why blood come out?" Blah, 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 and like shove stuff up there. Like, who? We didn't know any better. We're lucky we have the science. To be
I mean,
fair.
that actually sounds like women today. Why am I bleeding? Let me shove something up there. We haven't evolved much.
No, we haven't. Like, stuff is coming out of that shouldn't. Put something up there and see what you can find. Okay. I've got this telescope. Hold on. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, stuff comes out of your nose, but you don't stopper it, you blow it. So I'm just like, how could you blow your vagina?
Well,
Like,
there's
queef.
air bladder.
Okay, I'm done.
You just pump
Ah.
you pump air in there and then it just comes back out. That's how you
It's
you
like
blow
when
it.
Stephanie blew into her air bottle and goes, hey, if you blow your bottle, you don't have to suck. And then water just shot out for 15 minutes. And I have never laughed so hard in my entire life. And someone's like, don't be perverted while water is just
She's
splooging in her
trying to
face.
catch it. She's trying to
She's like,
catch it.
choking to death. I'm like, your water bottle is bukakeing the crap out of you right now.
You didn't say bukkake at the dinner table, but you were thinking it because I
It was
was.
so bad.
There's no two
Turkey
people
baster.
there's no two people more obnoxious than me and Ashley at the dinner table, and everyone hates us. And I can't help it. When we're together, a show happens, and it just that's I'm sorry. This is
I
what we
saw
do.
Steven for 3 seconds today because I wanted to drop off Stephanie's Christmas gift that got here after Christmas. And I was so excited, but she was taking a nap. I'm like, no. And Steven and I start talking. And then I'm like, crap, my baby's still in the car.
I gotta go. I have a child asleep way over
Like a good
there.
show.
Yeah. I was like, we're gonna be fine. Then you were like, I got a polyp. I was like, save it for the show.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how so either next Thursday will be the show before I surgery. I don't
Yeah.
know because I can't eat or drink anything, and then like apparently I'll be out of commission for the next 2 days. So and I have
You'll
to
be
be there at
grumpy.
5:45.
AM?
Yes, and I'm
Oh
like, okay,
Lord,
my
yeah.
baby wakes me up at like 5, but I don't like have to do anything.
Why did they do surgery so early? Like, how is a physician in any mental state to perform surgery at 6 a.m.? Like, I
Well, he's
remember when
not
Steph.
gonna touch me until
Oh
7
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, but you got to be there, and they got to get you checked in. They got to check your insurance, and like it'll cost $70 billion, and you're like, okay, do you want the surgery? It's like, well, yeah, because I don't want to die. That sign on the
Yeah.
dotted line. How would you like to pay today? Oh, I have this baby with me. Is that enough? Uh,
Yes.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy. Like, I wish they
I
just do
don't
surgeries in the afternoon. Like,
I
but
don't
whatever.
wanna. I don't. I have a feeling like I'm sitting here bargaining with myself. I'm like, maybe it'll go away on its own.
You're right. You
I
start doing that,
haven't
like
given
that'll go
it
away.
enough chance to go away on its own. But
All right, Mama. I know you and your mom and your sister are the same. Maybe this will go away by itself. You know, that's what you all do. But at least you finally told somebody, and they're like, "Go to the doctor."
so stupid.
Could have just
I don't
well,
wanna.
I mean, you could. There's plenty of Jacob has some forceps or whatever, probably.
Yeah, but how would he
He
get
can
it
take
up
care of it.
there?
I don't know how to get the baby up there.
The
That's-
sperm is slightly smaller than forceps.
how does body work? Does
How do
I
you
does
know
not know. I was thinking the day, like, because I was thinking about having these bidets on all my toilets. I upgraded the bejesus out of my toilets. So I got
Yeah,
these bidets
cyberpunk
on my
toilets.
toilets. I've got these glorious flushers. I've made my toilets the thrones they were meant to be. So there's less, you don't have to be as what's the word? I don't know what the word is. You don't have to be as aggressive with the toilet paper because you got your bidet doing most of the work. And I'm like, this is nice. No more like hemorrhoid problems. Like that's gonna hopefully be a thing that doesn't happen as often. And I was like, but what if you're like, our grandparents didn't have like ointment. Our grandparents didn't have great
Yeah,
grandparents.
newspaper and corn cobs.
I know, like if you got a hemorrhoid as a farmer, like what do? Your butt just hurts all the time. And I was like, what about cavemen? They didn't know anything. They probably were looking at each other's butts like, what is that thing? And like trying to figure stuff out. Like I'm so glad we live now. The more I think about like the fact that ibuprofen and Tylenol exist, yes, please.
I was
That's
thinking
good.
about childbirth the other day and that, and I'm just like, I don't. I think if I would have been a woman 200 years ago and a dude would have got near me with his wiener, I'd be like, I'll cut it off. Like I saw what, my 15 siblings did to reproduce and
Yeah.
no, I'll go rub one out. Like just you get away from
I'm gonna do this myself. That would
no.
you
Like
back
I
off.
don't you are unneeded, sir.
Yeah, back then they were so Puritan. You would have been like, "Oh, I cannot even see the bottom parts of my person." Um, Maybe you wouldn't have. Maybe you would have been a witch and been like,
Oh,
"I'm
I'd have been a
out in the
witch.
hiding out in the woods." Yeah, you'd have been a witch,
I'd have been
maybe,
a
but
witch.
there's because if you had any desire whatsoever, you were a witch.
Yeah.
I learned that watching Hocus
Hey,
Pocus. I finally
Chitty.
figured out that all three witches were like a thing. There was like the real witch, and then there was the woman who ate too much, and then there was the who could smell because she had her like dog nose. What were people?
Wait, what
What
is
were
this?
witches? Hocus Pocus. And then Sarah the witch was the lusty, the thirsty
Oh.
witch.
Thirsty, thirsty Sarah.
Sarah was thirsty. And I didn't know that till I was an adult. I'm like, she's really after like boys
She
in
was
every.
my favorite.
Okay, makes sense. Checks out. Anyway,
She
Hocus
was
Pocus was
kind of
great.
a bonehead, and she was excitable and funny.
I liked Hocus Pocus. Good movie. Factoid of the week. The ancient Romans and Greeks believed that diamonds were tears cried by the gods or splinters from falling stars, and Romans believed that Cupid's arrows were tipped with diamonds, perhaps the earliest association between diamonds and romantic love, which is a farce. Diamonds are not.
Yes.
Buy a pig for her dad or something like we used to. Here's my fatted calf. May I have your daughter, please? See
Actually,
the
I think you
proof
should
of
buy
my
like a
abilities.
well, like something that can, like an aquifer, is worth more.
That's what you do now. What like if you could if the thing now was to buy the bride's father a thing to prove that you could take care of her, what would be that thing? Do you just go give him like your first paycheck? Be like, I work at a place. Here's my money. Can I have your daughter, please?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, if we were to
Also,
really hold to it.
it's so like everything's so unstable right now, though. Like I really think like a
Healthcare.
breeding. We should go back healthcare. Yeah, Chivas. We should go back to the breeding animals. Like I can
Yeah.
borrow my friend's male goat and impregnate this female goat, and we can have milk and eat.
Yeah, you have goat milk and goat cheese.
Golly goat
I'd
cheese.
prefer the cow part. What you do is you get two cows and you milk one and you eat the other or something like that. How's it go? You sell one when it gets big and you eat the other one and it evens out. But you have to like I don't know. I don't think I could eat a cow. I think I'd develop too much of a relationship with the cow.
I
I'd be
think
I'd,
you would
I'd
you
name
would
it.
enjoy a cow more than most people enjoy dogs.
Yes, I would. I
You
well, I
would.
grew up on like a farm, but we didn't have a dog. We had horses, we had goats, and we had a cow. And I remember I liked the goats, and I liked the horse, and I liked the cows. I
Goats
don't
are
want a
hilarious.
dog.
Goats are little shits. They're obnoxious little
Yeah.
a-holes, and I love
They're
them.
so funny when they're little though. When they're little baby goats, they're amazing. But then they get
Nah!
to be big goats and then they're just obnoxious.
I used
And
to
they're
eat
just
the bottom of my
derpy.
jeans all the time, and I'm like, are you? What do you like? Why?
What is wrong with you,
Did I
goat?
curse? I just bad. I didn't curse.
Steven isn't
Steven
allowed in
isn't
the animal
allowed.
section.
Sapo.
Don't be creepy about it.
Steven, stop trying to take the cows. They got it's slaughter time. Stop
No, you can't
liberating
have them.
Bessie.
I'm liberating these cows. You cannot have them.
Like
I
he's
was
flying a French flag behind him. Viva la goats!
I loved we had a cow we named it his name was Spot and he was a Holstein cow and every morning my mom would mix up the milk that we had to give him and I'd go out to the fence and he would drink the milk. That was my morning chore before I went to school is to take the thing out there and feed the cow.
That's
And
adorable.
she hated it. She hated it because the milk smelled terrible. And we finally got rid of him. I was told he was injured, but I'm pretty sure they just sold him so we could raise him and eat him. They're like, he hurt his leg and he couldn't be around all the horses or whatever. I'm like, uh-huh. Now I'm like, yeah,
No,
you
now we
sold
need
that
to
cow.
know.
I know.
We need the truth now.
My mom will listen to this and then she'll be like, oh, I remember that cow. This is what really happened. You can continue to lie to me, mama. It's okay. Sometimes that's better. Sometimes lies are better.
30-year-old Santa Claus is real.
Yeah. That one I've decided I'm just gonna let that one go off on its own. He'll figure it out when he's ready. There you don't need to abruptly crush dreams. You can just be like,
Yeah.
you're
I was
good.
12.
When you finally figured it
Well, I
out.
found a note in my mom's 12, Steven. Found a note in my
That's
mom's
not
drawer,
that
and I'm
bad.
like, I wrote that to Santa. Why does mom have it? Mom, you lied to me. Well, yeah. Okay.
We're whimsical. Whimsical people want to believe in things, man. I believed in Santa until I was like 10, knowing full well that I shouldn't and it was over.
Yeah.
I still wanted to. And my sister was
Yeah.
6 years younger than me, so there was a little bit of a need to kind of continue the ruse
Mhm.
for her sake. But eventually we just both of us just snuck out of our room at about 8:30 or 9 at night and went and played with our stuff. And then that's how my family got the tradition of doing Christmas Eve Christmas because I could go and like I became a night owl as a teenager.
Yep.
So when I wanted to play with my stuff, I would get like, "Oh, it's Christmas." So we'd go out and eat dinner, and we'd come home and all the stuff would be out. And then I'd spend all night till like 3 a.m. goofing around
Playing
with
your
my Christmas
video
stuff,
games.
playing my video games.
See, that was the problem. Once I got into video games, when I would do you remember when you came up one Christmas from Florida and I had Minish Cap and you
Mhm.
got ready to leave and you're like, "You didn't talk to me at all."
You were disappeared. You were a ghost.
That's all I did was play Minish Cap.
I fondly remember it sitting. One of my greatest memories of Ashley just disregarding me as a person is I was sitting on some stairs chatting with her, and then she just goes, "I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be back." So I'm like, "Okay." And 30 minutes later, she's still gone. I'm like, "I guess I'm gonna go to bed." That was fun.
I have issues like
You're gone.
ending stuff and like I went and screwed around. I'm like, "Oh shit. Oh, I'm sure he left by
He's
now."
asleep by now. I'm not even gonna check.
Like, it's fine. Everything's fine.
It was nobody was awake. We were having such a good conversation, and it just
Sitting at the top of the stairs, and I'm like, "Da, da, 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 da." But eventually my brain just shuts down. Like at a certain point at time at night, like my brain shuts down and goes, "This is this is your time, Batman." And then like I'm gone.
you just take off. Bye,
And
everyone.
also, I woke up the next morning and Steven was like, "You left me," and I'm like, "Oops."
You might as well have left me at a gas station and drove off, like the way I felt. Like you might as well just abandon me. I'm gonna run in and get me some cigarettes. Mom, where are you?
Mom, I'm so
So, like walked home. What are you doing here? You left
mad.
me at the Shell station.
Sorry, Mama had to get home for Jeopardy. I don't even remember what I did. I just remember thinking that like I had completely lost all track of time.
Not
And then I
surprising.
peeked out and everything was dark and you were gone. I'm like, I'm sure he didn't wait long.
No, he's fine. He's gone. Ah, world news. This is the greatest story title I've ever read in my life. Man gets wasted, legally changes name to Celine Dion.
Whoopsie.
Oh, the heart will go on. A Celine Dion superfan in the UK got drunk and legally changed his name to hers, then promptly forgot about it. But it's all coming back to him now. Ho ho
I get
ho.
it because that's a
That's
song.
a song. Well done, news article. The 30-year-old Celine Dion, nay Thomas Dodd, came up with the idea while boozing it up and watching a TV concert by the 52-year-old Canadian crooner on Christmas Eve because he loves her. He said, "She is my go-to person I listen to when I need cheering up." He said he spent much of the pandemic watching concerts while at home, including one by Dion over the holiday that was accompanied by a magnum of champagne given to him by a friend. That'll probably explain a lot, he said. While enjoying the show, he plunked down 89 pounds, about $122, and officially took her name via an online application. However, the details are a bit fuzzy. He says, "I honestly, hand on heart, don't remember doing it. I remember watching the concert, and I remember getting rather tipsy. Days later, he came home from work as a hospitality manager in Staffordshire, England, to find an envelope with documentation waiting for him. I wasn't aware I'd done it until I found that envelope in my post," he explained. "Initially, I had to sit down as I couldn't believe it, so I then checked my bank, which confirmed it all. And why stop there? Once it sunk in, I signed it straight away, as I bloody love her," he said.
Jeez.
That's amazing. That is well done. And to
You
own
can
it like
change
that.
your name legally online in the UK.
I mean, it's your name. Why wouldn't it be easy to do? It's
I'm
like
so bitter.
Change, yeah, because you had to do all kinds of stuff. You had to go to
So
courthouse and right.
stupid.
Let's
Had to
see
go
how.
so many places and listen to people talk about being from West Virginia, and I'm like, just signed a paper. I don't give a shit where you're from. I want to leave.
So when you get your marriage certificate, you can change your name. That's one way. Change your name on your social security card. Yeah, fill out a form with the SSA. Yeah, there's no real easy way to do it. Then your driver's
Mhm,
license, then all your
mhm,
other documentation. Oh,
mhm.
if you want to change your name for other reasons, choose your new name carefully. This is all coming from WikiHow, which, as we know, is the most reputable place to learn how to do anything legal. Legally changing your name is a serious decision, so you should make sure that you choose a name that you like to keep. Before beginning the process of changing your name, practice signing it. Oh, that's good. That's good because you're going to need to sign it a lot.
I still cannot sign my last name. Like, cannot do it. Like, it looks like I'm faking.
This is pretending this.
And so I'm like, one name I signed for 35 years, one name I haven't left the house for anything. And I'm like, pff, click.
I love the questions on this. Can I just change my last name to my boyfriend's last name? You can, but first you should ask yourself if your boyfriend is worth that much effort.
I said on Google, WikiHow, what is this?
WikiHow, that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, but apparently take into account multiple things when changing your name. Hey, Ashley, your hacker name is your birthday and dagnabbit, I can't remember what it was.
You were
There's
trying
I was trying for one of those give me all your password information without
password,
asking for your
yeah.
password.
I was like,
Yeah.
why would it be your birthday?
No, it was a good one. It was a good one, but I dropped the ball. Not new. Not new for me. Let's go. Small town news.
Now my turn.
Yeah, I
Is it
think so. Oh, because you
what?
can't hear the music.
I'm like, why is he ignoring me?
No, I can't figure that out. That's gonna be a thing that haunts us
It's
for
fine.
days.
We need to talk to Scott about it. Texas woman clings to speed. Shit. Fuck. Darn. Crap. Fart. Texas woman clings to speeding car for 10 minutes after couple steals $10,000 exotic puppy.
What?
What's wrong? Just
There's puppies worth
humanity.
$10,000. I'm in the wrong business.
I just
What's an exotic puppy?
I don't. Some dipshit bred a dog, and now that dog is worth more than most people. A
I read a
Houston woman
Pekingese
was.
with a dachshund, and this is what I got.
Safa, what are you people doing in Texas? A Houston woman was miraculously left with just scratches and bruises after clinging to the hood of a speeding car in an attempt to save a $10,000 exotic bulldog.
No, not a bulldog. Come on, man. Like bulldog.
Listen,
Some people like bulldogs. I'm not a bulldog. I'm not a dog fan, but I'm not a bulldog fan.
I'm not a fan of putting a 10 grand price. I don't know, whatever. Elise James said a man and woman came into the store looking at different dogs and landed on a 10 grand exotic bulldog puppy who was 7 months old at the time. What the kind of store has is there a picture of this dog? Okay, wait,
I
I
hope
should
so.
finish the story.
I
I
should
should
just. I'm gonna
continue.
type exotic bulldog.
I feel like you're gonna get some porn. However, James said the pair took off with the puppy when she went upstairs to grab paperwork for a UPS driver. Surveillance video shows the couple leaving with James running after them. She said that the puppy had surgery just days prior and was in need of special medication. That's when things took a turn for the worse, and James said the couple hit her with their car when she demanded the puppy back. Wait, nope, I'll
This,
finish the story.
this animal's like a turd with legs.
I can't wait to see this. James explained that the man was driving the vehicle, and when he very aggressively lurched the car forward in her direction, the bumper kind of like slapped me on top of the car. That's called hitting you with an automobile, dude. James was on the hood of the car for roughly 10 minutes as the man drove recklessly around the Houston area. When the man finally came to a stop, James said he grabbed her by the feet, grabbed her chest, and started hitting her. The couple ended up getting away with the puppy. Houston police have not been able to identify the man, but the woman has been identified as 21-year-old Roy Shauna King. Can we just go back to the Wild West and just start shooting people and shit?
Everybody should just carry revolvers. Let's just at least it's only 6 shots. that's
Right.
that's that's okay. It's self-limiting. And if you're trying to reload a revolver in the heat of the moment, good luck. That's not gonna that's not gonna end
No,
up
you
well.
you need the loading thing. I can't. I wanted to see this bulldog.
Yeah, you
That's a
need the
7-month-old puppy. That's like a 900-year-old dog.
these dogs are not good dogs. You know, a pug can actually pop its eyes out if it gets too antsy.
Oh my god, he's like flying so. I'm watching this video.
It's video that you'll see
Oh,
only on
oh
Tuesday.
gosh, it's so loud. Mute this thing. Let's see. Do I have a brow? Oh, I haven't fixed haven't
I
fixed the
mean,
scene so the
the
browser
puppy's
works.
cute.
But I'll share. Here's what we'll do. We'll share the link so you can do it. Looks like Wayne
How do you
Knight.
just walk out with a poor little puppy that needs medication?
People are buttholes. That's all there is to it.
I'm so done, guys.
Trying to
I'm
skip
so.
to where they're hanging onto the hood of a car. Like
It's so
there's
awful. Like he's going pretty daggone quickly,
hanging onto the hood feels like the worst place to be because if you slip up, he runs you over.
right?
Like if you're on the back, if you fall off, I mean, you'll get hurt
At
real,
least,
real
yeah.
bad. But you've got maybe a chance, you know. This world, we've been doing this show for how many years? 13 years.
Many.
April will be 14 years we've been doing this show, and the thing is, I shouldn't be surprised, but I regularly am. This is one of them. This is
I
one of them
just
that'll do it.
I don't understand what's going on. Like, have we always been this stupid?
Yes, yes, we have always been this stupid. Look at the articles about archaeological digs that find horrible jokes about shop owners on the walls and whatnot, and you're like, humans are the same. We have not evolved to get better. We just change our scenery, but at the root of it, we're all a disaster, and have been forever. We've just been reporting it differently for years.
Yeah, maybe you just didn't hear
You
about it.
didn't. If you were in if you're in New York and somebody else is in Alabama in 1770, you don't care that JoJo fell off his roof, doing while trying to have sex with the maid. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go, but
They didn't have the vehicle to accidentally bite the penis off when getting rear-ended while cheating on their wife.
there you go. And if it did happen, nobody outside of your town knows about it. Because
HG,
you're
why
not
were
gonna
you
report
hanging
that.
onto a vehicle?
Goes back. Listen, he's in the army.
I know. I'm like,
So
what kind of training do you guys have?
I just watched every action movie from the 80s. They're like, we got to know how to do that.
I would show if that was military training, I would sign up now and be like, yep, let's watch all the 80s action flicks. I'm
Could
good
be
for
a
that.
stunt man,
There's no Twitter and anything.
There's people are
I
crazy.
was reading this thing on professions for people that have ADHD brains, and they're like stuntmen and what was the um what are the people that go around on the ambulances and save people and take them to the ER?
EMTs,
Yes, those.
those are good for ADD.
Well, so one of the people said, he said every single one of my employees, if they don't have ADHD, then they don't last. He said all the good ones have ADHD
It's amazing.
because it's different constantly and it's exciting and it's adrenaline and your brain's like, yes,
Yeah, I couldn't do
paramedic.
that
There we
job.
go. Oh,
Yeah,
the word.
I
Paramedic.
couldn't do that. I know a guy who was a paramedic, and he's like the job's good when it's good. He said, but I've seen some stuff. You pull up and
Yeah.
you're like, oh Lord, this is bad news. And he was, now he's a PA.
Yeah,
So it's much more office oriented. Somebody can come in and it's a mess, but he's not pulling up on like bad car accidents and whatnot.
yeah. That's what
Mm,
he said they burn out. If it's not
yeah,
someone that's been diagnosed with ADHD, then they burn out real quickly.
that's fascinating. Well, now,
High
hey, the
school
more you
band
know.
practice.
High school band practice is a place where risky business happens. I know that for sure.
I've watched a movie where there was sex in high school band practice.
Band people get down. I did learn there was a hierarchy in the nerd kingdom of high school. We didn't have a lot of varied cliques in our high school. They were basically, you were either jock or you were a nerd or you were something in between.
An
Uh,
asshole.
yeah, yeah. Ashley, you covered that. You had that cornered. You were not an a hole. The jocks
I
were
was
usually the a
violent.
holes. You were
Yes,
violent.
I was
Uh,
violent.
But one of my C Mitch told me, he's like band geeks were nerdy. Theater geeks were above band geeks because they were always naked with each other and kissing each other and getting, because they had all these plays and changing their clothes and outfits backstage and stuff. It's like they were always getting laid. Um, which they were nerds, but they were getting the business. But band
Okay.
wasn't. That's what I was told. I don't know what your face is trying to tell me.
I was just thinking of like, and all I remember was my class was the people I liked and the people I didn't like, and I didn't really see a click beyond that.
Sure. You're very focused. Doubter says it's lies. I don't have any context for it. I was not in the theater. But I did work at a theater once, and there was a lot of aggressive action towards me, and I had to tell everybody that I had a girlfriend and I was not interested in what they were doing. And I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but I
How
was
about this?
approached.
For Steven to realize that someone was hitting on him, it had
It
to be
was
aggressive action.
they I was standing against a wall and they were very close, and I'm like, okay, I'm just y'all are nice. Bye. I'm going I'm going to play checkers
Bleep,
with this man
bleep,
who's telling me about
bleep.
all his sexual exploits. I'm only 19. I just I don't I'm not ready for this world yet. All I want to do is operate the lights and play dominoes
Just let
during the
me do
break.
my job.
Look, I did not know this place was as thirsty as it is.
Theater kids are higher up on the social ladder than band kids unless it is a star in the marching band. If you aren't okay, so we were so sheltered, Steven.
I know we don't have a darn clue. Darn,
No.
and you know what? I'm okay with that. I married my high school sweetheart, and I'm great with it. And we're happy. I don't
See,
need
I
the
don't even think we
experience.
had clicks because we didn't. I mean, there was sports, but I mean
Sports cliques were cliques, bunch of buttholes.
sports. Like
Basketball
sports.
kids, basketball
None of
kids,
us were good.
soccer kids were nerds, but the basketball kids were the basketball kids.
See, I don't even like I don't know. I played basketball during like with the guys at lunch. And I played volleyball until my senior year, but I hated everybody in the volleyball team.
Yeah, yeah. The
All of my
volleyball
friends were
team was
dudes.
pretentious.
That was
Yeah.
my clique. It was dudes and Brandy.
My clique was Landon and Patrick. That was my clique. I had two friends, and they were great. I played music with Patrick, and I played video games with Landon, and it was great. That's all I
What
needed.
is an
Those two
orc
people.
dork? Yeah, you guys, I can't wait to find that picture of Patrick rubbing his nipples.
It's out
But
there.
no, Brandy the person, not Brandy the
Brandy the
drink.
drink. I got
My
along
my
really well with Brandy.
dudes, and that makes me sound like a hooker. My
Dudes and Brandy.
my clique was dudes and alcohol, baby.
Hey Ashley, you gonna go out with me? Depends what you drinking.
I know, like whatever's in your dad's liquor cabinet. Good answer.
Yes. Brandy.
Orchestra dork. You guys had an orchestra?
What the
Jeez.
devil? Gosh, we had a choir. It was terrible. Oh, they put
Hell's
me actually,
bells.
they put me in choir once because
Why?
we had this period between lunch and another thing. It was like a 30-minute fine arts period that we had to pick something. And there was like photography and there was art and there was choir and there was puppet team. And Obviously, Steven joins the
Puppet
puppet team.
puppet
This
team,
is a
yeah.
brainless choice, but I didn't. I was terrified because it said puppet team tryouts will be held. And I was like, oh, tryouts. F that. There ain't no way I'm passing a tryout. I just want to play with puppets. So I went to, I didn't have anything else to do. Everything else didn't seem fun to me. So I went to choir. And the first day we were doing Me Me Mamo Moos. Me Me Mamo Moo. I cannot sing. I'm tone deaf. Like it doesn't,
Same.
I can play guitar. I can, this voice does not operate at a level that not good. Not good. Someone should have told me that while I was singing songs in my punk rock band in high school. And if they told me, I wouldn't have believed them then, but I believe them now. And I was like, oh no, I can't do it. So like day 2, I'm like, I cannot go back to choir. I cannot. So I went to the office, like, I need to switch my fine arts thing. And they're like, okay, you can do it. Where are you gonna go? And I'm like, puppet team. I'm just gonna go to puppet team. My buddy Jesse was like, there weren't tryouts. Where'd you hear that? And I was like, it was on the paper. It was on the paper of things to choose. And she's like, that's stupid. There's like 5 of us in there. Come to puppet team.
Go play puppets. Where none of this shit existed when I'm like, what was I, 3 grades ahead of you, 2 grades ahead of you?
Yeah, you were 2 grades ahead of me. Yeah, you
There
missed it.
were no puppets or soccer. I didn't have uniforms either. Yes,
Yeah.
I had 25 people in my graduating class, so that was considered large.
We did 27. We were the record breakers.
Beat us.
Yeah. 27. Booyah.
There was no
And yes,
photography.
I was a chick magnet at puppet team. I had a puppet. He was a Mac Daddy. I might not have been one, but
Steven is
Phil,
so stupid with his puppets.
Phil, the puppet I carried around, was not afraid of anyone, no matter how attractive they were. And it was great because I'm like, I'm scared to death of you, but this puppet right here, he's got it down. Like he can talk to you. And they would look at the
Steven
puppet
was
and
no. Steven is so aggravatingly weird with puppets. Like, I don't know what it is, but Steven will disappear and you end up literally like arguing with this puppet. And in the back of your head, you're like, this is Steven. Why am I talking to the puppet? But you can't, like, you just can't. You end up, he like has some weird mesmerism with puppetry.
oh,
It's
it's
odd.
great. That was when I
So
knew I was
odd.
in a groove. I'd be talking to somebody and they would just their attention just bloop to
Zoop.
this thing on my hand, and they're like, Phil, stop! You're just quit. They're laughing, and I'm just picking on them and making jokes, and it was great. It was the greatest.
Defender.
Yeah, and no one on puppet team is a Baghdaddy, but that puppet, he was. He knew how to talk to ladies, and it was great. But yeah, Devender's not normal. Yeah, I lose the filter. Complete confidence boost. It's so stupid, but it works. Head gamer probably sees this in therapy. Like I'm gonna get.
He uses HG's like, okay, today we are going to talk to Francois.
It's because HG from South Georgia becomes the. Today we are going to work on your brain, okay? It's like no. Why has he become a psychiatrist all of a sudden? He's German.
Bonjour.
No,
You
the
tell
puppet
Francois
didn't
all your
swear.
problems.
The puppet didn't swear, but the puppet didn't break character either. That was the critical
Yeah, he
part.
won't. He will not break character. It's
No.
ridiculous.
It's part of the illusion. So much fun. I need to build a puppet again. Those were the good days.
Those were the good old days.
News
before-
better left before whatever the crap this is. News better left untold. Multiple personality disorder.
Ah,
Hey.
Jesus, I told you I didn't beat me by a string. Yeah.
It's- Well, I like writing stories. I like doing puppets, and there's a lot of weird stuff rolling around in my head. So
Oh,
I mean,
HG,
that
was
tracks.
such a good burn. It was just casual flame.
when you have to talk to yourself to write stories, right? And so you invent these things, and then they're just in there.
I love you people so
No,
much.
real life sucks. Real life's stupid. My imagination's way more fun.
LOD commune.
Yeah.
Puppetry's at 5. HG.
Hello,
be
welcome to
sitting in the-
puppetry. My name is Devender the T-Rex. I'll be here to teach you how to puppet.
Steven will be up there puppeting, and HG's gonna be like making notes on everybody in the end.
Yeah, no,
Okay, we
this
gotta get
person.
this guy out.
Here's my number. Let's meet every Tuesday at 3 in the lunchroom.
That'd be so good.
Oh man, Denmark launches children's TV show about a man with a giant penis. I saw a picture of this. And he's got a giant wiener and he's watering his lawn with it or something. He had a watering can. It's apparently prehensile, like a long monkey tail, like Marsupilami.
Is
Anybody
there
remember
a
that?
picture?
Yeah, probably. John Dillermand has an extraordinary penis. All right, go John. Well done. So extraordinary, in fact, they can perform rescue operations, etch murals, hoist a flag, and even steal ice cream from children. The Danish equivalent of the BBC, DR, has a new animated series aimed at 4 to 8-year-olds about John Dillerman, the man with the world's longest penis who overcomes hardships and challenges with his record-breaking genitals.
He's
Unsurprised.
pouring gas on a grill with his dong.
I mean, hey, if you could, you would.
And this is like
It's like it's ridiculous. It really is a monkey tail. It's wild. It's just coming out the front. The Danish equivalent, or wait, I read that already. Unsurprisingly, the series has provoked debate about what good children's television should and should not contain. Since premiering on Saturday, opponents have condemned the idea of a man who cannot control his penis. Wait, is this really the message we want to send to children while we're in the middle of a huge Me Too wave? Wrote Danish author Anne-Lisa Marstrand Jorgensen. Yeah, the idea he can't control his penis. It has a man of his a name. It has a mind of its own.
I mean, he's pouring gas on a BBQ with the like his wing wang. Like that's some
That seems like he's in
control.
control. Yeah, unless the wiener's like, I can't wait to eat a steak. Let's get this thing fired up. What? Christian Groves, an associate professor and gender researcher at Roskilde University, said he believed the program's celebration of the power of male genitalia could only set equality back. He says it's perpetuating the standard idea of a patriarchal society and normalizing locker room culture that's been used to excuse a lot of bad behavior from men. It's meant to be funny, so it seems as harmless, but it's not. And we're teaching this to our kids. Oh boy, we've got a lot of angry people in this. There's got to be somebody willing to defend the massive wiener. Eric Heinessen Horsted, a clinical psychologist who works with families and children, said she believed the show's opponents may be overthinking things. John Dillerman talks to children and shares their way of thinking, and kids do find genitals funny, she said. The show depicts a man who is impulsive and not always in control, who makes mistakes like kids do, but crucially, Dillerman always makes it right. He takes responsibility for his actions. When a woman in the show tells him that he should keep his penis in his pants, for instance, he listens, which is nice. He's accountable. DR, the Danish public service broadcaster, has a reputation for pushing boundaries, especially for children. DR responded to the latest criticism by saying it would just as easily have made a program about a woman with no control over her vagina, and that the most important thing that children enjoy was that children enjoyed John Dillerman. I mean, if this showed up on PBS, I'd imagine we'd freak out. I mean, to be fair, kids don't know what a wiener's for, really. So it's not really as crude in their minds as it probably is in an adult's mind. But that's still kind of not something like when you want to talk about educational entertainment, I don't know that this is the way to go.
I feel like the biggest issue isn't the bullshit about patriarchy or that he takes responsibility for flashing his dick to some woman who gets upset about it. It's that you're normalizing a dude walking around with his wiener, and that might lead to children having some issues with abuse later on.
You're
That's the
right.
thing that
That's a
bothers
good
me.
point because then it becomes they've normalized wieners
Yes.
to the point where it's like, I have my wiener out like John Dillerman. It's imitative
Yeah.
behavior. That's the greatest thing. Like we want to avoid imitative behavior. It's one of the things we tried to keep out of Sam's eyes constantly when he was a kid. It's like, let's try to try to make sure the stuff is useful. That was why Tumbleleaf
Yeah.
was such a cool thing because
Tumblr was so good.
Tumbleleaf was great because it was like it respected a kid's intelligence.
Yeah.
But then you had like something like Teletubbies where you walk around and bump into each other and do stupid
So
songs.
stupid.
It's like this isn't really giving us anything. Not as fine if you're into Teletubbies, whatever. To each his own, but it wasn't for me. But
But
yeah, the
yeah,
show's Creative Galaxy was good. If you give kids something to strive
I
for.
have no idea what that was. I feel like I'm gonna like Tater Tot's gonna go from Tumbleleaf to like Aliens, and then
I
I'll be
mean,
like, ta-da, parenting.
that's something. You know what? It's fine. It's sure. Why not? We were
Yeah.
watching Karate Kid tonight because I was like, Sam, have you ever seen Karate Kid? I'm really into Cobra Kai, and I remember being like 6 or so, and me and my buddies, if you got hurt in the woods, everybody would do the Mr. Miyagi like, don't worry, we'll fix this, and like rub your hands, and, like grab your leg or whatever. And I was like, I had to watch Karate Kid as a kid to know all the references and be really
Yeah.
into the Mr. Miyagi stuff. So like, Sam, let's watch Karate Kid, and it's just like fighting, just fighting, and I'm like, it's karate, duh, moron. But it's like good hard teenager punches, like punching kids left and right. Everything's resolved with karate, or with just straight up fist fighting. I'm like, maybe
Yes.
this isn't a good idea. Maybe it is. This is probably fine.
80s,
But by the time
man.
you get to the end of that movie and it's like all great. She's like, look, Daniel Russo and the music and the kick with the mantis stuff is awesome.
Remember it. I don't remember
Gosh,
it.
I love freaking Karate Kid.
I grew up on
Cobra Kai is
cartoons.
so good.
We haven't seen it because it's Jacob has um some issues with a video game lately.
See, we'll beat it eventually. You'll get your life back. I promise.
I
I'm
mean,
still working on it
I've been
too.
enjoying it for the most part. Some nights I'm just like, "Hi, the house is on fire." I asked him a question the other day. He didn't answer me, so I asked him again. I asked him, and he got annoyed, and I was like, "Well, answer me!" He's like, "I've answered you 50 times." I'm like, "Maybe in your head." But yeah, no, I don't. So it does seem silly because it's not like they're actually showing a wiener, but I feel like that opens up kids to having some sexual abuse later on because, well, Uncle Harry walks out with his wiener out. What's the difference? Like that's,
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to to explain to your kids before they wander out into public that wieners are not a thing that you just drag out and show everybody.
yeah,
Uh,
nobody should be showing you their wiener.
There's private parts. There's private for a reason. But then
Yeah.
you have all these enlightened people going, I say enlightened like very sarcastically. Enlightened people, they're like, nudity is fine. You should be nude and be okay with your well, it's appropriate places to be nude, or you end up with like people thinking, oh, that nude guy is fine because nudity is fine, but that nude guy's not okay because that nude guy's doing
Yeah.
something really wrong. So it's really you can't you keep things simple for kids because their judgment isn't there, and you want them to know, like, let's just say this is not okay, and that give you a bunch of different variables. You know what I mean?
What's Anita
I don't.
Bryant?
I don't know what that is.
If I Google
It's
that ace, will I get in trouble?
I don't. I'm not.
Trepidatious
I get nothing out of the
with Ace's
context of Ace's
suggestions.
sentence. Like, what?
I
Gosh, sometimes I love being clueless. It's just the happiest place.
don't know.
I hear people say things like, "Have you ever seen this on the internet?" I'm like, "Nope, no, I haven't. I'm fine with it. I continue to live my life without that rolling around in my brain." I remember Rotten.com. I've seen enough.
No, so
Thanks,
stupid. I'm glad my
everybody.
brain forgets things.
Mine doesn't. It all just glues itself in there. It's like, let me see. What's the thing I would most like to forget? I'm gonna nail that over here, right next to the social security number. I'll never forget it. It's gonna be in there forever.
Brains are fun.
Oh man. WTF segment.
No,
WTF.
oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was reading Acepedia.
Ace is lots of actual factuals out there. Um,
Lots of factuals.
yeah.
Man builds, I thought that said erect. Man builds secret tunnel to his lover's house, caught by her husband. Okay, so the lover's house probably contains the husband if you're trying to be secret. So you basically just tunneled into another dude's house and he probably didn't appreciate it. So, whoops. A man
Man
from
builds.
Mexico who built a tunnel to his lover's home in order to carry on their secret affair was tragically caught by her husband. The bricklayer named Alberto managed to dig a passageway that reached all the way to a woman's residence in the Tijuana neighborhood of Villas de blah 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 blah.
It's Prado. It's not that hard of a word.
No,
Villas
but
de
I said
Prado.
everything else stupid, like taco. Well,
Taco.
white chicken wants tacos.
I want to go eat a taco.
I'm sorry. I
Tacos.
can't. The
Tacos sound
work.
great.
Steven's like offended. It's
Nom, nom,
Prado.
nom.
So I had tacos tonight. Yes.
I had jambalaya. It was so good. Oh, my
Nom nom
word.
nom
So
nom.
much diarrhea is on its way. It was so
Well,
delicious.
you have upgraded toilets.
Good bidets. That's right.
The work was done when the woman's husband was at his security job. The couple often met when the husband, named Jorge, was away at work. But one day he arrived home earlier than usual and caught the couple red handed. What does that mean?
What,
Like,
red-handed?
because was his hand red from this or like the husband found Alberto
If
hiding
his
behind his
hand was red, he was
he
going
went
way too fast, and everything is wrong.
that's where the husband
Gross.
found Alberto hiding behind his sofa and noticed a hole that led into a tunnel beneath his house. How the hell did you think someone wasn't going to notice that?
Got a new secret tunnel.
Jeez, when he climbed down
He
the
hid it behind
passageway, it
his
led him.
poster of Rita Hayworth.
I get what you did there. Hey, TV Travis. He hasn't seen that.
No, 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 no. Don't say anything about it. He's thinking on things. There's plans. I have to bleep you out now. Secrets. Secrets.
I don't know what I'm okay. I'll just
Secrets.
move on because I don't know what I accidentally.
Roll.
The husband found Alberto hiding behind his sofa. Oh, I told him that. When Jorge reached the other house via the tunnel, Alberto reportedly pleaded with him to leave the house as he was trying to hide the affair from his wife. But things didn't end on a civilized note as the husbands got in fist fight, which required the intervention of cops. Okay. How the hell? Like, who? You can't just build a tunnel from house A to house B and not have anyone realize there's a hole in the yard.
Why not? Why not? That seems like perfectly reasonable. I have tunnels to all my neighbors' houses, don't you?
I don't know what that attitude. Just
You gotta believe.
like you just walk outside and be like, "Hey, honey, what's?" Don't ask questions. It's close to your birthday. My birthday's 6 months from now. That's closer than it was.
Well, I mean, I guess he's down in his basement or something, right? Or like in his living room digging a hole. He's not like out in the backyard. So he would
That's
be.
worse. You've got a hole in your effing living room.
I mean, I don't know where this hole is. It could be in his bathroom. I mean, hey, you pulled the toilet away and you've already got some of the hole dug. Or maybe he's got a crawl space and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna." Not you would remove the pipes and everything. You wouldn't just like
What's
have. You wouldn't be.
the
It's not
hobbitses where they come up through the toilet in the lake area?
what
So stupid.
in the Hobbit.
The yeah, one of the where they come up into they come up through the toilet.
What toilet?
It's the toilet in the lake town next to the dragon hut.
They come up through a toilet. The only thing I remember about somebody coming up through a toilet in a place was Johnny
See, TV
English.
Travis got me.
Oh, okay, it
Thank
was in
you.
Lake Town. I didn't like the Hobbit
Oh, is
trilogy,
Lake Town
man.
the actual name? Winning.
Yeah,
I'm winning.
it was very creative. I can't. I'm not gonna make fun of J.R.R. Tolkien. He called something Lake Town, but he invented like 4 languages. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know, right?
he's got the creativity. Uh, yeah, I didn't like The Hobbit. Lord of the Rings is out on 4K though now. 4K UHD awesome sauce. I'm pretty excited about it.
Red-handed goes back to 15th century Scotland. Thank you, Zafo.
Oh wow, how about that? The book, The Hobbit, the book I've read and I love. The Lord of the Rings I have not read, but I love the Lord of the Rings movie and do not like the Hobbit movie. And I don't know what that means. But I tried reading
That
Lord of the
means
Rings and I fell asleep. I'm like, when are we gonna start this journey?
it should have been more succinct than it was, but they were trying to milk it.
Well, I think so. J.R. Tolkien just liked to write words. It's like his favorite thing was to write words. And he's like, I'm going to write lots of words. Like they're great. And in 1970, this probably was speaking the exact right languages to fantasy readers everywhere. But now I ain't got it. I don't have the attention span for it.
I never did.
And you've read some stuff. You read the Dragonland series, and I can't get through that.
Well,
I've
it's because it's
tried.
more political and convoluted, and I like it.
Yeah, I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. But anyway, man, that was a good show. That was it. That's where we're at. The end. But it's not the end because we'll be back next week with more horseshoes and hand grenades and
The
more
day
chit chat.
before I get molested by speculum.
I mean, just because a robot's gonna invade your body doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
No, that's the
You're gonna
day
be okay.
after. I have to go COVID Wednesday and then surgery Friday.
Oh,
I did
I'm
it
so
up my
sorry.
nose one day and my hook on the next. Yay!
I wish that this wasn't a thing. Like you're right. Why can't human bodies just work and we don't have to have things put in us all the time? You know?
Yeah, I'll see if they'll take a selfie with me while they're shoving a Q-tip up my nostril.
That'd be great. Like, hey, I'm gonna hand you my phone. Just do like a peace sign selfie with me knocked out, if that's cool.
So
I wonder, are
stupid.
they gonna give you a video? Stephanie got a video of her knee surgery. That's fun.
I don't know that I want a video of them sticking things in my vagina.
I like surgery videos. I don't want your video. I don't want that at all. Like that's
I
just
mean, I
for you.
guess you can't really tell what it is at a certain point. It's just all fleshy and poppy.
Yeah. I remember watching Tom Green's like lymph node surgery on MTV once, and I'm like, this is fascinating. They're pulling his guts out. I've seen Stephanie's guts because of the C-section. I was convinced when I was walking back to her with the baby in hands at 23 hours of no sleep, and I'm like, we have baby. Is that her guts? We have baby. And Stephanie's like, no, I don't think you saw my guts. They would have had all that put back in. And she's like, no, it looks like they actually have to take all your intestines out and get the baby out past those. You saw my
Yep.
guts. I was like, oh, good to know. Good to know I
You,
saw my
you
wife's
love her
intestines.
inside and out.
I have seen the inside. Like you're not supposed to see because that blue curtain. But when I was walking back, you kind of walk past that to get around to back to where her head is. And I'm like, those are guts. But here's a baby. Baby we had one. What do I
You
do with
had
it?
your stuff was just so traumatic. It was
It was
just
awful.
so
Awful.
traumatic.
It was awful. It was
I
awful.
wouldn't have had a second one if I would have went through what Stephanie did. I would have
We're
been like,
not
nope,
having
F
a
this.
second one.
This is dumb.
No, we're not having a second one, and I will not be
I want
guilted
to
into
have a
having
second
another
one.
one.
Where we're removing the polyp so it can be replaced by a baby.
I don't want a second one. I went through enough, and I have these battles of guilt and feeling like we're not doing enough.
No,
We're
you'll
not
have
replacing
cousins. It's
ourselves.
fine.
We
It's
have an
fine.
only child, and then I meet all these other people that are only children, and they're all awesome people, and I'm like, okay, maybe he'll turn out okay. This will be fine.
He'll be
And
great. He'll have
then
annoying cousins.
well, I'm gonna call that vasectomy guy. You'll all get
Yeah,
it.
okay, so we'll get you for your but they don't do anything like special for the vasectomy, do they? They just kind of like punch you
No,
in
they
the
just
nuts
talk
and then
about baseball and flick you in the nuts with a numbing gun and chop
yeah,
your business. Yeah,
yeah.
should be fun. Should be a good time. Zafo's like, it's the easiest thing I ever did. I went to a baseball game. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So
But
hopefully,
and then
it
you've
goes
got one of our friends, Dave, who wasn't fully numbed and had pain for a
well.
week.
Gosh, that'd be awful. No, I take really well to numbing. Really well to numbing.
He
The
also
dentist
did
is
in
just
West
like, bloop.
Virginia, so.
Oh, yeah, no. The dude, there's like this dude down here. He's like, I've done 75,000 nut cuts. And I'm like, okay, that's good. And it's like 75,000 5-star reviews on Google. I'm like, all right, I will find you. You seem to know what you're doing.
The nut cut stream.
Nut
Yeah,
cuts.
I'll see if whoever picks me up will record the stupidity. Because I
Heck
remember,
yeah.
like when I had my nose chopped on, that Steven and Stephanie came to see me, and I was like, I can make my nose dance or my ear
That was
dance or
awesome.
something.
Dude, Sam revealed a hidden talent today, and it was so cool. He was sitting at the table, and Stephanie's like, Sam, make your eyebrows dance. And he wouldn't do it, and he finally did it, and he can make his eyebrows do this, like in rapid succession.
I don't know how he does that. I
It
don't
was
know, especially
wild.
at 5 years old. Like, how do you learn that you can do that?
Like I can do one and then slowly do the other, but he could be like burp, 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 burp. I was like, dude, not a lot of people can do that. I was so excited for him because I can wiggle my ears, and I remember thinking that was really cool. I'm like, I can wiggle my ears. But I was like, nice work. Yeah, you can do that thing. The Ernest P.
I don't know.
Worrell.
I remember when I was 13, I was staring in the mirror because Rat could do that with her eyebrow. And like right now, where she's done it over 30 years, like her eyebrow goes all the way up into her hairline. It's amazing. But I was
She's
like,
got strong muscles.
I had to make myself okay. Let's go
We should go. I
watch
love you
Travis.
guys, all of you wonderful people that are watching the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the show, give us that 5-star review on whatever service it is that you listen to the show on, or if it's just Twitch, just hey man, thanks for being here. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm Steve H&H. Ashley is Fate Kills, PHATE Kills. If she tweets, it's worth it. So go ahead and give her a follow. And you also follow the site. I'm not gonna even bother. But you can also support us at twodorks.net/tip if you want to give us a one-time like 10-cent whatever. Or go to Patreon, patreon.com/twodorkstv. You can support us there. Your bucks bought us twodorks.tv, the website, the
Yay!
domain. Gave us the domain of twodorks.tv, which is cool because it takes straight to Twitch. No more twitch.tv/twodorkstv business.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
twodorks.tv, and we're there. That's pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited about it. So thank you for your support. All you people like Og and Hammer Dwarf and Adam and Christina of Geekheim and Oddly Normal One and our parents. You guys are great. Thanks for all the support on Patreon. And we're going to leave you with these words of wisdom to carry you through the rest of your week. Confucius says, better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. How about that?
That's
How
beautiful.
about that? Yeah, I like to think of myself as a flawed diamond. You guys are amazing. We'll see you next time on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Bye!